perfect day trip and a must-see in Guatemala. We were a bit on the fence given the trip was pricey, but it was so worth it. THT trip includes everything including air tickets. Our trip began with hotel pickup at 6:30 am. Our hotel was very close to the airport. The flight to Flores was at 9:10 am. We landed at 10 am and was picked up by our guide at the airport and headed off the Tikal in a comfortable van. The ride to Tikal National Park is about an hour from THT Airport. We reached around 1130 am and left at 4 p.m. Benedicto, our guide, was amazing, explained Mayan history, indigenous flora and fauna. We climbed the pyramids for some stunning views and ended the day with a very good lunch. Our flight back was at 8:30 p.m. and we reached back at the airport at 4:50 p.m. Given there was so much time to kill, the guides were kind enough to drop us at Flores City for an hour where we grabbed coffee by Lake Beten and enjoyed a beautiful sunset. They picked us back up at 6 p.m. and dropped us off at the airport. At Guatemala City, our pickup was waiting to drop us back to the hotel. If you are traveling from Antigua, you need to add an additional hour to and from the airport. The only thing to note is that by the time you return to Guatemala City, all restaurants, even Uber Eats, room service is closed and we couldn't find any dinner. So make sure you have some food in your room. Highly recommend. This was my wife's and my second visit to Tikal. Our group this time was larger than before, but was very enjoyable due to how much our guides knew. This tour does include lunch on site of traditional Guatemalan cuisine, which doesn't disappoint. We were able to climb the stairs of all the open temples that they had. This was different from 18 years ago when we were able to climb the stone steps themselves. However, this did make it easier to get to the top as the wooden stairs aren't as steep as the temple steps themselves. If you can swing the time and cost of this trip, it is well worth it. The guide's explanation was formidable. I was impressed by the times of its splendor of this Mayan culture, the pyramids, temples and structures similar to those of Teotihuacan. Some of them are truly impressive. I am amazed by what I was able to observe today, climbing two of the pyramids and seeing the other pyramids from above, emerging from the undergrowth was very impressive. The jungle hides things and the discovery of Tikal is splendid. I am very grateful to have been able to achieve this #challenge at 60s. Climbing step after step sounds and looks easy, but it is not. The exploration of Tikal trip was fantastic. I never thought it would be so perfect and spotless. The tour guide welcomes us warmly, and with dual languages, Spanish and English. 1 hour drive to Tikal National Park passed very quickly because the driver drove very carefully. The Mayan pyramids are insane. We climbed a couple of it. Especially the Temple 4. Standing at the top of all Mayan ruins is a completely different experience. Be careful with the mosquitoes, there are a lot in the forest. Also, the trip has to walk a lot, so be prepared. There were only 4 of us in the tour. Our guide, Sergio, was excellent. He suggested getting a ride on the truck from the parking lot up to the ruins. This saved over a half-hour walk, each way. Take cash for driver tip. The ruins were magnificent and you wonder as you gaze at the landscape to the hills surrounded how many more are villages. We saw spider monkeys. Lunch was excellent. You spend quite a bit of time at the airports. Overall, I highly recommend. Remember sunscreen and bug spray.